Hey everybody, it's been a while. Happy New Year. Hope everyone's doing well.
Hello, we're back. We're here to fill you in on what's been going on for the last 6 months since we've seen you before.
Yeah, that's right. We have enough content here probably to have made 7 or 8 videos between now and the last time we updated you, but life moves fast and we didn't. But now we're here, ringing in the new year with a new video, a little bit past our, equinox typical timeline, but
But what is an equinox anyway? It is the longest day of the year is the one that we want it to be. And it would have been the shortest day of the year. So this is the longest sentence I'll say tonight.
is this type of the sage content you've been missing since June 21st when we did our first anniversary walk recap video. That was the
That's
last
right.
one we
That was
had.
the last time we were here.
And since then, we've been abroad. We've eaten a lot of bagels. We've released some
I
new
haven't. You
NFT
have.
projects. You've eaten bagels.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah,
Gluten-free bagels.
yeah, they're bagels.
Thank you. You're right.
We've done quite a lot. Why don't you tell us the first thing that you'd like us to talk about since our last update on June 20 something?
Yeah. Okay. Well, since you mentioned bagels already, let's just take it from there. You've been doing some bagel stuff.
I have been doing some bagel stuff. So the most notable thing was in September, I believe.
It might have been
Early
October, but it
is
might have been
you
September.
can check the channel because there actually is some content that we released related to that. I was involved in Bagel Fest, and Bagel Fest is run by Brooklyn Bagel Blog, Sam Silverman, and this is the third year I think they did it, and it is just exactly what it sounds like. It is a festival for all things bagel related. And I had the pleasure of both giving a presentation at Bagel Fest as well as running all the programming. So, different presenters that were there. I was facilitating that. And there was also this entire massive banquet hall of different bagel vendors that were present, and they were competing to be the best bagel at Bagel Fest. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. There were
And
also like smoked fish people, like people that just had smoked fish, no bagel, competing against each other or like adding to the fun. And there were cream cheese people, and there was one person that had a giant bagel.
I think the giant bagel was provided by one of the vendors. It wasn't just their only thing that they were doing.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah, I think it was Utopia Bagel maybe that
yeah,
had
it
a
was Utopia
huge
Bagel.
bagel.
Yeah.
That was
I
exciting.
got this shirt here, this Essa Bagel shirt. I got a hat too. I've been wearing a lot of bagel swag
Mm-hmm.
because I can.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a ton of fun. Sam and I are going to be working together in the near future on some bagel tour stuff. You might notice on the Everything is Everything website, there is a link that says take the tour. This is actually our kind of first type of advertising associated with the Everything is Everything site. And it's done principally because it actually feels organic. It's not just like Google ads pointing you to, deals on spatulas or something. It's
Sure.
actually a thing that I can get behind and I feel good about, and it like fits organically on the site. So yeah,
And you might even be doing some of the tours yourself. If you sign up for a tour, you might get to go out and look at bagel stores and eat bagels with Mike
that's
himself.
right. Yeah, I did one tour on behalf of Sam during the Bagel Fest weekend as he was busy setting up the whole show. And I got to go around with some shop owners, which was fun. It was like professionals in from out of town. So they were asking different questions about like square footage and like how much, wheat do you have every week and just different stuff that a normal person wouldn't ask. And I got to talk about my various store experiences as well as the walking project. And it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, there's a good chance that I'll be doing different tours there as well. So, if you'd be interested in taking a tour with me, then yeah, leave a comment or sign up for the tour, and it'd be a lot of fun. So, yeah, so that was great. And we gave out the awards for best bagels. And I'll be honest, I think the judging rubric needs a little iteration, and Sam feels the same way about it, insofar as that it currently kind of rewards bagel stores that are looking to do the most like outside the box thing. because it's the thing that people talk about, the thing that they've never experienced before. A lot of these shops that do great bagels that are local are making things that are very much like something that you would get if you go to the store. Whereas some of these other places, not only do they bring like the showmanship, which I respect that, that's great, but also they're making maybe like I'm gonna like Frankenstein several different things, but it was like bonito flakes on horseradish cream cheese and like a boysenberry bagel or something. And I know that probably sounds
Yeah, that
terrible,
sounds
but
disgusting.
the idea is that they would come up with like different, really unique combinations, and it stuck out. And so they got the best, of Fest. They did have a separate award for Best of the Boroughs, which Liberty Bagels in Midtown won, which was the #1 store in Manhattan for me. So happy for them. But basically, all the stores that were there are like really high quality offerings. So it's good to get exposure for all of them. And it seemed like everybody really enjoyed the time that they had there. So
And there's probably going to be another Bagel Fest
certainly.
happening
There will definitely be another Bagel
this year.
Fest. This January 15th, Sam is putting on another event. If you go to Brooklyn Bagel Blog or Bagel Fest, you can find out information about that. But that one's going to be I think like a $40 ticket for like a flight of 5 bagels, a mimosa, and like several other like things. So it's not like I'm going to go and taste every single bagel here. It's kind of like a different angle on the bagel experience.
What's a flight of 5 bagel? Is it like similar to a flight of beer where it's like just a small piece of a bagel?
That's my understanding.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That'll be good. You mentioned that the bagel tour link on the website is our first type of advertising, but you stand corrected because we also have another way. If anyone wants to support us, it's a small thing, but there's a link to something where you can buy us a coffee.
That's right. So these came out at the same time. So it's like a 1A, 1B situation. But we updated the site for both having on the map page and on a couple other spots on the page, the tour link. And then, there's the option to buy a cup of coffee, which we had known about previously. But then when I gave the presentation at Bagel Fest, somebody recommended that we add that as well.
Yeah.
And it was a nice little nudge to do that. And so you can essentially like it's a tip leaving service. And we did get at least one already from somebody immediately who's like, I've come in from Boston all the time and I really like this site. I use it all the time. So I'm happy to give you a little tip. So.
Yeah, which is nice. Always appreciated. Obviously, the site runs for free and it was done just because Mike was excited about doing it and it looks cool and it's a nice way to catalog everything. But the more it's used, the more it costs to run. Right. So if people want to leave a little thing, then that's great. And if not, like whatever, that's fine too.
Yep. And on the NFT side, there's less than a quarter of them left to mint. So that's gone pretty well. And it paid for the entire last year of me being able to continue to do documentation on the project. So that's great.
Yeah, and so if anyone still wanted to get one of those bagel NFTs, there's a little less than 50 left, I guess.
Yep. And the #1 bagel store is still in the pool to be taken out. And actually, the #1 store closed, unfortunately, which is a sad story. But the very short of it is that they got behind on their rent and they couldn't maintain staying in the space anymore, unfortunately. They were a really great shop with a big heart, and we kept in touch with them and still keep in touch with them.
Yeah, if they open up anywhere in the future, we'll be sure to check it out and put it up there and let people know. But hopefully they're okay otherwise.
Yeah. So that was sad, but also I'm glad we were able to spotlight them before that happened.
Yeah, it's good that you got in there and we were able to meet them and you could try their bagels and we could have them cater our wedding before they weren't able to be there anymore.
That's right. So if you want to see the whole presentation on the that was at Bagel Fest, it's on the channel. It's a few videos back. You can check that out. And what else? Well, where do we skip to? I guess where do you think?
I was going to say, speaking of videos, another video you can see on there is the Today Show video, which has rerun twice now, Maybe the last time we talked about, or the last time we checked in, it had run already, because I know they were running at the end of June.
Yeah, it had not.
But okay, so that happened. And then they also reran it right before Christmas.
That's right. They reran it on the 21st of December.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was kind of the pinnacle documentation moment. Really pleased.
Yeah.
We, I don't, yeah, I think we mentioned that it was going to happen on the last one, but we probably didn't speak too much about it. It was great to talk to Al Roker, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the team there, the production team, was super nice and really like effective at wrangling us and getting the most out of us. And it was, yeah, so thanks to Nick and
Yeah.
everybody there.
Yeah, and we're honored to keep showing up on their radar and, have been able to be on there 3 times now. So that feels nice. It's good to wake up early early, like it's like 9, but to wake up to text messages from people that are like, oh my gosh, I saw you on TV this morning. I was just watching with my family. And it's cool because you realize how many people are watching the Today Show. And then it's also cool because they're seeing us and they're not expecting to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that was great. We've had some more reach outs, mostly like on bagel stuff and like more specifically to like the data visualization that happens on the website. It seems that there are a lot of people that are enamored with it, which is great.
Yeah.
It's very flattering. But like we've reached out or heard from different students that want to use the data for like different dissertations and things like that. So
Yeah, so that's exciting.
yeah.
We've also had some questions that were not able to be met. The questions about like using the data and wanting to have a chat about what it was like to review the bagels or what it was like to review any part of the things. Those are really exciting. But the questions about like how the website's made, we just can't answer that. We didn't make the website. So if anyone's seeing this,
we can answer the questions. It just won't. I don't know if it's as fulfilling because I didn't make it. I have answers for how it was made.
Oh, you do have, okay.
Yeah,
Then we can
I
answer
just
those questions.
beyond like a surface level understanding of it.
One thing we cannot tell you is what Essa Bagel's profit and loss margin is. Someone wanted to know that. We can't tell you
Yeah,
that. If anyone here is like, oh, Mike's wearing an Essa Bagel shirt, let me find out what their taxes look like. We can't tell you that. We can tell you what the bagel tastes like, but that's about it.
Yeah. One student requested a bunch of information that I wouldn't have access to. I mean, I guess it's worth asking insofar as it's a type of research, but really, I think they need to do the research that they need to do.
Yeah. It's exciting to get emails from strangers.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to talk about it with each other and now with anyone that happens to listen to this.
Yeah. I guess we'll go to the next NFT project that came out too, since it's still related.
Yeah.
Which was the Weed Bags of New York, which I don't know if we talked about it on the last one or not.
I don't know either.
But it is series 2, again, of 5 parts that are documenting the walk. And for this one, the way that it worked was we had 220 bags that we collected, all the most interesting ones that we found on the street. And from there, we took those bags and put them on different backgrounds in New York City, ground textures. So like, just a sidewalk might be one, or Coney Island boardwalk, something that's more common, all the way up to Madison Square Garden on the court. And I have Jesse taking a photo of me taking a picture of the bag so that it doesn't just look like a high school gym.
Yeah.
And we made
the proof.
Yeah, and we made the website, weedbags.nyc, and Jesse did the making of the character on there. His name's Dr. Robert, and he's kind of like a male version of Carmen Sandiego. He's in a trench coat. And yeah, he opens his trench coat, and kind of like you'd sell pocket watches or something, it has all the weed bags, and you can scan through it. Very much like the Bagel website, where there's a component for people that are not interested in NFTs and a component for people that are interested in NFTs.
Yeah, it's just fun to look through all the different bags. They're also, I don't know, maybe you just said this, but the bags that we collected are from this like sweet spot in New York City weed experience where when we were walking and collecting them, during that time, weed was legalized. And so all the bags that we were finding are these like cartoons, and like some of them are coming from California, but who knows really, like it's all just completely unregulated, and it's stuff that probably isn't going to exist much longer, but they're like really bright colors and really fun, and like um so many different designs. They're not just like a plastic bag. They're not just like an empty plastic bag or like a black plastic bag or something. They're fun to look through.
Yeah.
And the website has music on
Yeah.
it, and it's made really well. Also, our friends helped us make this website.
Yep. Shout out to Mike and Guan for helping us make the site.
Yeah, so
Once
again, we
I
can't tell you how it was done. I can tell you how I drew the character, which was with a pencil and then a pen and then a picture on my phone and scanning it into Photoshop and then deleting the background and then touching it up to Mike's specifications. But and then Mike drew out the website, and then our friends Guan and Mike made it happen.
Yeah, they did the front end
So.
design of stuff, whereas I did the paper design of everything. So
Yes.
yeah. So there's that one. I would recommend checking it out if you haven't already. And there was also like, we already did a couple of videos on that too, like very briefly through the channel. So
Oh,
you may have
sure.
seen those already. And then I think we're consulting our notes here. We went to Kenya. That was a big one.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
And that was for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We may have mentioned that we were doing that because we knew we were going to do it.
Yeah, I think the last time we were here, we did know that was on the docket.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were invited by our friend Tahir, who was Tahir our first guest?
He was.
Okay, and then we went with Tahir and Matt was our last guest.
That's right.
And we've known Tahir for
A long time.
like almost 7 years. I think about 7 years. And he's always wanted to take us to Kenya. That's where he's from. And it's been a long time since he was able to go back, and then, with the pandemic and whatnot. And he has gallery representation there at Circle Gallery. And they wanted to do a solo show with him in Nairobi, which he accepted and invited me to assist him with making some of the textile pieces, which was very exciting because for me that ended up being a textile-based work trip. And then Mike and Matt came along as our respective partners, and we got to explore together, and we got to travel together and see the city of Nairobi, which is really cool and really interesting. And I don't even know how to sum it up quickly here, but it's a big city and it's chaotic, and I don't think I'd compare it to New York really, aside from that there are like a lot of people just like there are here, but navigating the city is very different. And I felt very comfortable there. We like found our way around pretty quickly. Tahir was a wonderful tour guide. We got to meet his family, who showed us around as well and took us to have amazing meals and told us great stories. And we also went to the countryside, saw not all the animals that you could imagine, but like so many animals. And we went to Lamu, which is an island off the coast of Kenya in the Indian Ocean. And it was beautiful and quiet and a really special trip.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we could do an hour and a half talking about just this trip. I would say that it's great to go to a foreign country, both to experience the country itself and, learn stuff about it, as well as to learn about the place you're from by the absence of things that, that are not there, or by people asking you about certain aspects of your country that they have observed. So that was wonderful. And
We could go on, but also Mike made a photo NFT collection, one photo for every day that we were there,
yeah,
which is a really good summation. It doesn't take too long to look through. It's like just the right amount.
yeah. So I made another NFT collection, obviously not related to the walk, but I really like the medium, so it makes sense to continue to create in that. And it's called Highley Abroad. And one of the cool things about the NFT collections in general is that there's no time limit or edition limit. We can add to it perpetually. So the idea here is that I took a photo or I made an edition for every day that we were there. So it's 21 days. And there's a photo, and then there's an audio component as well. So it's kind of like a David Attenborough-y, like a nature program. So you see the image, you can read the text, but you can also hit play, and then there will be, like a 45-second description of whatever the content is that you're seeing. And yeah, so it covers, as Jesse mentioned, Lamu. It covers the different preserves that we went to. It covers the political situation because we were there during an election. That was interesting. It covers, what water was like there. It just like different little snippets of things that really give a full picture of the experience. Yeah. And so the idea is that moving forward, anytime that we go abroad, we can continue to add a photo a day, roughly. For each day that we're there, I'll add another photo. It was really my ambition to do like one photo from each day, but I think the collection quality would have suffered if I did that ultimately. So rather just keeping with like the edition numbers being the days that we're actually there. And then if there are two photos that are good on one day or describe some sort of angle of something, then that's what we'll use. So
Yeah, that was smart.
yeah.
And
So
hopefully we'll have many more Highley Abroad collections because we'll be going abroad.
yeah.
That's my hope.
Yeah, I mean, I have no objection to that. We will be going abroad.
I'm not like hinting at anything. I'm just saying that's what I'm
Yeah,
putting out there.
there's a good chance we'll be going abroad again this year, so we'll have the opportunity to add to that. And there's a good chance we'll go to Kenya again. I don't know if we'll add to that collection if we go to Kenya or not. We'll have to make that decision as we go. But
Yeah.
yeah. So that was a huge one. We hadn't been abroad in 5 years or so at least, I think. Or maybe you had been more recently.
That feels like too long, but that might be true. Sorry for the long pause. That pause is almost as long as it had been since I left the country.
Well, why don't you talk a little bit about some of the documentation work on the walk that you've been doing recently?
Okay. So I have been working since we finished walking on these day trip guides, and I'm finally really making some progress. I sort of went through many phases of thinking that they would be one way and thinking they'd be another way. And then I was like, you know what? They just have to happen. So I scheduled myself some time at our friendly
Neighborhood co-op.
Neighborhood co-op, thank you, Gonis, in Staten Island, where if you are not familiar, you can look back to when we were in Staten Island. We have a whole bunch of information and a long interview with our friend Michael that tells you what Gonis is. And I stayed there for 3 days, I think. And in 3 days, I got more done than I had gotten done in the entire year prior. So that was nice. And I have a website now up for these day trips. I am making 26 trips to represent the 26 miles that we were walking each day. And they're not 26-mile long suggestions. They're condensed versions of some of my favorite walks that we did. So while I was out on Staten Island, I made a couple of the walks and then realized like, oh, I need a picture for this, and maybe I should add a place to stop for food that we didn't stop on our walks. And so I'm adding to it more than just what we learned while we were walking, but taking inspiration from the places that we found that were really exciting around the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming together really well.
Yeah, and so it's not public yet. I say that I have a website for it. I bought the website. I'm not going to say it because I can't remember what it is, but it's something so basic that I was like, how is this available? But it was, and so it's mine now, and as soon as I remember it, I'll write it down and tell everyone.
I could see maybe why it was available.
It's something like nycwalkingguide.com.
Yeah.
But like I'm not sure if it's that, and also it's not public, so but once it's public, it'll be up. That'll happen this month. I hesitated because I don't know if I want to give myself a deadline, but now I'm doing it. So this month.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? How about some other deadlines you're experiencing right now? How's work doing?
Work's great. I am still running my dye shop. It's great. This year, I'm trying to think how it was going in June, what was going on there.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think just like how busy it was. I don't know if I mentioned it in June. If you've heard me talk about it recently, great. If not, this year has been great. It's been busy. I've been getting a whole influx of new clients. I have a friend at another dye shop called Not Just Lace. His name's Christian, and his shop is a lot more like a big factory type dye shop where they have big washing machines and big dryers, and it's in a warehouse in Long Island City. And so he gets a lot of requests from people that want him to do tie-dye or more experimental dye processes or things that he definitely would know how to do, but are just beyond like what he wants to be doing. I think it would require him to really like clean out an area and lay things out and do them more meticulously, as opposed to really what he's very, very good at, which is getting like a bunch of things dyed the same color and matching a color and doing, I think he does some tie-dye, but a lot of the stuff that comes to him that he then sends to me is a little bit more detailed and playful and maybe smaller quantities. So that's been great. I've been super grateful to have a friend in the industry that is sending me the projects that he isn't up for. And I also have my big client, Colina Strata, that I've been working for years now. And yeah, things are great. You mentioned deadlines because I'm on a deadline. I need to get a bunch of stuff done this week. Today is Tuesday. So that means in 3 days. And it's going to happen. It's going swimmingly. Meaning the studio is just full of dye and we're trying to get our way through it. No, it's good. It's always a little bit hectic when there's a deadline looming. And, you know, the world, I think, is still recovering from all of the pandemic slowdown stuff because they're not really talking about it like on the news. It's not all this like fear of whatever the supply chain issues. That was like the buzzword this time last year. But shipping still has been pretty slow internationally, and there's some of my clients work with factories overseas in Europe that send things over, and that was delayed, and so that delays me a little bit, and the stores that are ordering the things, they don't want to wait, whatever. So I'm in the middle of it all right now, but it's good. I still like it, usually. And still going to just keep dyeing stuff.
Yeah. And you also, I think since the last time we talked, or you were just starting it, you've become an elected official.
I am an elected official. That's true. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wrote it right here. County committee is what I wrote. I am a county committee member. Yeah, I'm trying to think if we talked about it last time. Doesn't matter. Gonna talk about it again. County committee is the smallest position that anyone can hold. That's an elected position. It's a volunteer position. The requirement is that I show up to the meeting that's scheduled, and that usually is just one meeting for the entire 2-year appointment. Depending on the leadership, that could be as many as 4 meetings in the 2 years, I think. I think they could schedule would it be a bi-yearly meeting, biannual, twice a year? I can never remember if biannual is twice a year or once every other year.
Mm.
I also feel like it could be used in
Well,
both
what's
ways.
biennial?
Biennial? See, I don't know. I can't remember.
Anyway.
Bi is 2,
Yeah.
but then annual or ennial. Anywho.
The biennial.
The biennial. I did attend 2 meetings, but they were one meeting split into 2 because the first meeting went off with so many hitches and needed to be rescheduled because we got kicked out of our venue. They shut the lights off and they pulled the power, and no one was happy. No one's been happy. What I'm learning by being on county committee is that no one's happy in the Democratic Party in Brooklyn. It's the biggest county. Brooklyn is Kings County, and it's the biggest county in the country. And because Brooklyn is super blue, it's very Democratic, it's the biggest Democratic Party in the entire country. And it's completely broken. So that's been exciting to see firsthand. And because I have no political ambitions, it's been great to be in there. I've been taking notes and I've been sharing them, and it feels really good because I don't care who reads it, and I'm just writing what I see, the way I see it, in whatever way I feel like writing it. And if it offends someone, so be it. People are acting like fools. People are acting so crazy. And I think if I had ambitions on becoming any sort of like higher leader, I would be nervous to write truthfully what people are doing, because I know that if they read it, they are going to be embarrassed and then they're going to be mad at me. But I don't care, because they should be embarrassed, and them being mad at me doesn't do anything except for make them mad. Like, it's not going to affect me, and I'm not being mean. So if you want to read about that, you can read about it. I have it on my website, jessiehyatt.com/county committee, I think. It's it's definitely jessiehyatt.com, and then I think it's /county committee. If it's not, you can click around, you'll find it. And I've been posting about it on my Instagram in the stories in real time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to say much more about it, because if anyone's interested, they can go do it. But it's been fun. It's been fun to, I guess the one thing I'll say about it is that I've been taking, because it's a 2-year appointment and it's a volunteer position, and I'm probably not going to go to any more meetings because there probably won't be any scheduled, because the leadership is a group of people that don't seem interested in bringing people together. I've been treating it sort of like I'm doing an associate's degree in local politics. So I'm trying to have one action item that I give myself every quarter. So my current action item is to connect with the other county committee members in our district.
Yeah.
And there's a list. I have a list of things I want to do, but I'm not going to spoil that because we'll see you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your yoga?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of yoga.
Yin yoga.
I've been doing yin yoga once a week, which I don't know. I guess I say I've been doing a lot of yoga, but like someone's going to be thinking that that's a lot, and someone's going to be like, okay, that's not a lot of yoga. Also, it's yin. What? You're laying on the floor? That's what it is. Yin yoga is great. You lay on the floor and you stretch for a really long time. You do, in the course of an hour, between 6 and 12 stretches. So you hold each stretch for anywhere from 2 to like 8 minutes. And it's really nice. It's not a cardio workout, and it's not much of a strength workout, which I think a lot of people think of vinyasa, and that's sort of more those things. But it's really good for flexibility, and it gets like into the muscles, into the fascia, and it loosens things up, and it's good for meditating a little bit. It's good for your mind. I was really nervous about the trip to Kenya. Were we on the plane for 14, 15 hours? And I've never been on a plane for that long. And I was nervous that I was going to be scared. And I was also nervous that I wasn't going to be able to sleep. And I was also nervous that I was going to be sore. And about a month before we left, every week in my yin yoga, I just thought about practicing for the plane ride. And I think it helped a lot. I think doing that made it so that I could just sit and be calm even when I was in kind of an uncomfortable place.
That's good.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. And you realize that having somebody to hold you accountable helps you maintain.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been going to this place called Baby Cobra Yoga. It's in Bushwick. It's donation based, which is nice. And the person who teaches the class is named Veronica, and I've become friendly with her. And that's been very helpful because she knows that I'm trying to go every week, except for if I'm out of town or if it's a holiday or something. And I know that she knows because I told her. So if I'm ever thinking that I'm not going to make it, then I just think, oh, well, how am I going to tell Veronica that I didn't show up? Like, what am I going to say? I was lazy. I didn't want to come and lay on the floor for an hour for free. I do pay. I do always give $10, but it's optional. So, like, there's no excuse. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I recommend it if anyone's never tried yin before and feels like you need a good stretch. It's great. You can find it on YouTube, probably.
So the last thing that we have on the list as far as this year is the most recent video that we put out, which was a review of all the stuff that I've done in the voxels space, which when you string it all together, it was quite a lot of things that happened there. Voxels is a metaverse with the lowercase m platform, so it's not like the Facebook metaverse, but it is a virtual real estate platform that in this particular platform, the Voxels platform, you just need a link to get in. You don't need to sign up or anything to do the most basic stuff. So you can get a link and go to any one of these parcels, and you can travel from parcel to parcel without needing to be teleported or anything. So it feels like kind of an actual neighborhood. And we have a bunch of spaces there where we've been doing different stuff. We've had gallery openings. We've had project launches. We have one space that is just for artists, like traditional artists that are interested in Web3, to just have 3 months of a residency to play around and figure out something that they want to do in the space. And so we had 3 artists that did that over this past year. And yeah, it's just kind of another effort with respect to NFTs and Web3 and making it a community space, making it an opportunity to get creative without having to spend really any money, because I'm not looking to monetize it at this time. I mean, if it became popular enough that people wanted to pay, sure. But right now, it's just about experimentation. It's been a lot of fun. And so it was fun to make that video that is on the channel, just showcasing all the stuff that we've done. And you can check that out for yourself. And I don't know if I put a link to any of the parcels in the video description, but I
Oh, that would
probably
be good.
I probably should in that video. So if
And yeah,
anybody
it's
wants to
cool.
see it,
You just click it. You just click it.
yeah,
And then
it's,
you're
and then
there.
you're
You don't
in.
have to have any know-how.
Hmm.
I mean, you have to know how to click.
You have to know how to click.
You have to know how to like open the computer and click the link.
Yeah,
And that's about it.
and we did a bunch of simultaneous real life events and voxels events, and that was cool too because 98% of the people in the world have no idea what this space is. Probably 99%, frankly. And to be able to have it on a screen at a real life event that's going on, and to watch people like weirdly light up, like beyond what they really should be doing, but they are. They're all just like very excited about like, oh, this is what this is. And then we have like the mouse and the keyboard are available for them to like play around.
Yeah. I wonder, I haven't really thought about it before, but I wonder why people get so excited. I have a theory, and that is that I think a lot of these things, for people that aren't in this world and aren't going into the metaverse or like even spending much time on the computer, I think they think of the metaverse as this really confusing, scary place where you have to like put on a headset and you completely lose your identity as a human and you just become this soulless robot creature, and it's like filled with the seediest people that exist in the real world, but they're all in there together, and it's like dirty and gross and scary. And it's not seedy at all. It's the most cutesy, tame, non-threatening place that you could go on the internet right now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not true, but it's not. But it's like cute. I would call it cute and
It's
not
very
scary.
colorful. This particular platform is similar to Minecraft. Voxels is like the name of the blocks in Minecraft, so like a Lego, an individual Lego. A voxel is the name of the building blocks in this platform. So it has an aesthetic that is, I think, friendly. It's not
Yeah.
overly complicated.
Yeah. Even if you don't know how to navigate a video game or don't really know how to get around on most technological platforms, yeah, you just push a couple buttons, or it just feels inviting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think people, they just hear the words as well. They hear the word metaverse. They hear all this stuff, crypto, Web3, and they don't understand it. And they don't understand it either like willingly avoiding it, or it's to hear it makes it feel instantly confusing. And then to have something that's like very accessible and be like, oh, so this is what it is. I think it makes people excited. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm happy to be continuing to create in that space and bringing people together, and hopefully it will continue to grow in the next year. That's what I'm excited for. Um, yeah, I think one last thing that I'll add before we maybe jump into what we're looking forward to. I was just on a podcast called Arranging Tangerines by this gallery called Lydian Stater. They're in Long Island City, and I've had a good time making friends with them over the past few months, and they asked me to be on their podcast. So if you're interested in like the art side of things, not just the stuff that we normally talk about here, but even things that have been like, you know, 15, 20 years ago, they did a good job asking me questions on that type of stuff. So if you're not tired of hearing me talk yet, you can listen to that, and I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, let's talk about the next year. What are some high level goals for this year for us and for individually?
Okay. I'm gripping the sides of my chair because I don't know what we're going to talk about. What are the high-level goals?
I mean, I know things that I want to talk about. Do you want me
Okay,
to go
yeah,
first?
get it rocking.
Well, I want to finish it's been a year and a half since we did the walk, and we're 2 NFT projects of 5. It's gone slower than I want, but everything goes slower than you want, especially if you, as Jesse has amply demonstrated, I can't do the front end design stuff for the web myself. So I always rely on people to help me figure that out. Yeah, I can provide all the designs and I make sure I'm not the slowest person in the team, but I always need somebody to help me figure that stuff out if I want to get to that tier of it being something that's accessible for people that are not into NFTs as well as people that are into NFTs. So, because I could, if it was just an NFT thing, I could publish a collection right now on everything and be done with it. So, we have the next one, which is called The Lost Pets of New York. I won't describe it here. If you go on the podcast I just mentioned, I do describe it there. And I'm sure the next time we have a video, I'll be able to describe it. But I'm excited about that one. That one's a charity one. I won't be making any money off of it. And it involves the lost pet signs that we saw while we were walking around New York City. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then we have talked about doing more clothing stuff. If you like that idea, particularly maybe something in the jacket realm,
Sure.
because
I didn't even think about that when I wore this today.
yeah,
Oh.
look at that. But we basically get asked about the jackets once
All
a
the
week,
time.
like once a week if we wear
Yeah.
them around. And so yeah, I mean it's totally within our realm of possibility to do that. And so we're thinking we're going to apply some of the values that you saw on the clothing that we did while we were walking to a collection, and yeah, just seeing what the interest is. So if you have
Yeah.
interest, let us know.
Yeah.
And what else? We have a couple of other like documentation angles for the walk that I don't know if we want to get into or not, but like what?
I was just pursing my lips because I'm not sure if we want to get into it either.
Yeah. We have some more
We
things.
do have things coming up.
Yeah, we do have some more things that we want to do. You always got to keep a little suspense, I suppose.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about it recently, just about so many different things in addition to the photos and the videos that we haven't tackled yet that we still want to get to. And it's kind of getting to, when we get to 2 years, next June, so 6 months from now, that's kind of my signal to really take a look at what we have done and what's left to do and start kind of making decisions about it. Not because I'm dissatisfied with doing this work, because I've enjoyed doing it, but ultimately I want to get to new things too. And so like where do you draw the line at a certain point about what needs to be at a minimum paused until a later time so that we can start using all of this experience that we've accrued into some sort of new venture. So,
Right?
yeah. So there's that. And then, I don't know, personally, is there anything you're looking forward to in 2023?
Oh, all of it.
All of it.
It's going to be a great year.
We have a bunch more weddings again. I think we have 5 more weddings again.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so we get to celebrate our friends
Yeah.
and love. And I'm sorry, my mind went blank as soon as you asked me what I was looking forward to. But we are, and when I say we're working on things and I'm not listing them, I do actually know what those are. I just think we'll talk about it when it's a little more along.
Yeah. Well, you have your walking site that you
I
want
have
to
my
talk
walking
about.
site that I have now said will be up by the end of this month.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying it again, and I am excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot coming out. I mean, like I said with the Voxels video, when you string everything together at the end of the year, it ends up being a lot of stuff. Even though it might not, on a day-to-day basis, it might not seem like a lot's getting done when you string it all together over a year. a lot gets done. So we're excited to continue working towards that. And we're also happy to be continuing a dialogue with you, even though it's, now it's, I don't know, every 3 or 6 months, and then those sporadic videos that we'll put out that are just related to something that we're doing. But as far as having these long conversations, it sometimes if you're not explicitly planning a once a week thing, the best we can do is kind of hit the season changes and see if we can get on that train or not. So
yeah. So here we are, and
Jesse got new earrings like David to her for Christmas.
did.
They're little alpacas.
Yeah. I wonder if you can see them.
I don't know.
They're
Maybe
cute.
not.
They're really cute.
Yeah. Well, Jesse's drawn a complete blank.
I have nothing else to say.
I guess it's time for us to go. But thank you so much if you ended up making it to the end of this video for watching. And we will chat with you. I don't know when, but, we'll chat with you again. Don't worry.
Sure.
Yeah. And take care for now and have a happy start to your new year.
Bye-bye.
Bye.